So peace, y'all. Finally here with my About Me video. Um, if you don't know, my name is Tori. I am the Afrocentric hippie shop owner, curator, goddamn everything, man. It's my everything. It's something I've been pouring into for over a year now.
Mommy.
We'll go in the house.
I'm coming back out.
All right. See you soon.
Bye.
Bye. Something I have been curating for over a year now, out of straight love and a healing place. Definitely something that I've used to help heal myself, because everything in my shop I make by hand for the most part, except for this bindi, which is on sale now at the Afrocentric hippie shop .bigcartel.com.
Mommy, I'll come back out soon. Wait, why not put a toy out there?
Play.
It's right.
Play.
Alright.
That's gonna happen on video, by the way, so just bear with me. It's all good. We chilling outside in the backyard, catching the sun and goodness. Well, I'm under the umbrella, but anyway, yeah, catch these bindis, the hippie bindis, in my shop. Come in different colors. This is like a dark blue color. But yeah, I'm gonna do this about me. I'm gonna go through some questions that I've gotten from people and other ones that I just felt like I just needed to cover. Number one.
Go back in the house.
Okay. See you later.
See you later. Bye.
Bye. I'm from Allentown, Pennsylvania. It's a tri-state area right outside of Philly. Born and raised. I left here when I was 17 to embark on my journey of becoming a clinical laboratory scientist and to march in the greatest band of the land at a historically black college, well, university, and that's Norfolk State University. I graduated there with my bachelor's of science in medical technology. So yeah, that's my career of choice right now. Like I've said, and you've seen posts, I'm merging into doing the cannabis the field, period. Trying to get in the lab for real, you know, be the person
Hi, Mom.
testing terpenes and water content, microbiological content of, you know, cannabis flowers, oils, everything. That's what I'm trying to get into. And I'll talk later in the video about my experience that I had actually here, because it's legalized for medicinal use here in Pennsylvania.
Mom.
So,
They got me jump off the step.
woo, be careful. You don't want to fall like you did yesterday and scrape up your leg.
I'm gonna say hi.
Play with your toys and stuff though. So yeah, I'm, like I said, originally here from Allentown, Pennsylvania, but I spent 10 years in Norfolk, Virginia. My mother's side of the family is from the Hampton Roads area. My mom was born and raised in Newport News, Virginia. My grandmother is the person who told me to come down there, and she told me, I said, Grandma, who has the best band down there, like, you know? And she was like, Norfolk State, hands down. I was like, okay, word. So then I proceeded to find out what I wanted to major in, which I already knew. They were the only college that had my major, which is medical technology or clinical laboratory sciences, laboratory technology, whatever. It's all the same thing. Bye. So yeah, I enrolled. I got a scholarship to march in the band at Norfolk State. I ended up marching for 2 years because my junior year got real. That's when I was in my major courses and was accepted into the medical technology actual like program. So yeah. In Norfolk and in that area, when I went off to school, that's when I, you know, got a lot of the black culture. Like, that's why I wanted to go to school. That's why I was like, I'm going to a HBCU. You know, I even had family members tell me, you know, you got the grades, you can go to any of these white schools up here, you know. And I was like, no, that's not what I want to do. I want to experience, you know, the culture is like, and it's totally opposite up here. And that's what I'm want to work on, bringing more culture to the area, you know, now that I'm back home in Pennsylvania. So, you know, I would say that was the best time of my life, experiencing um, just black college life, man. It is everything and more. And definitely being in a black band, it was lit. Like, undergrad was lit. So shout out to all my Norfolk State fam and everything. And yeah, so the difference in the influence from here, you know, where I'm from, which is Allentown, um, it really is like a 360. So, you know, here it's more of it's called a melting pot of people. We have, you know, a whole bunch of whites, you got some blacks, you got a whole bunch of Hispanics, Puerto Ricans, Dominicans, Mexicans, Syrians, you know, Middle Eastern people. You know, there's all of that here. And that's what I grew up around, you know, so it really was like, it wasn't a culture shock, but it was like,
I'm about to do
it was just the other side of the coin. That's all it was. It was just the other side of the coin. So, yeah, let me see.
I have to write first. I'm gonna write first.
It's more white driven here, and now that I moved back home, it's a lot of gentrification
I'll
going
write
on.
for you. I did it.
So, can you go play, please? Why you gotta be right here? I told you I'm recording a video.
I'm about to do it for ya.
No, you can't write on here. Here, take this.
Alright.
And go sit over there in that chair and draw your life away. So, yeah. And also, like I said, there's a lot of gentrification going on. So I'm just like, I really want to get into realty, into, you know, that market eventually, because it's crazy. Like my old hood where I grew up in Center City, Allentown. You know, straight hood, straight. It was crazy. I seen a lot growing up. I live on, like, you know, the outskirts, you know, of town now. I don't live in the Center City, but it's still crazy. It's a lot of heroin out here right now. A lot of drug activity still is. It's crazy. But they put up a hockey rink in the middle of the hood. So that's where all that's going on. Everything's getting bought up. Everything's getting sold. So yeah. Also, okay, well, the next question would be, how have I grown my business from an idea to where it is now? And I would say my business came from, like I said, a space of healing, a space of, you know, dealing with anxiety, stress, depression at times. It came out of that. So that's why I say everything, you know, all my ideas, research, that's what calmed me. And I literally was just researching for, like, that's what I do anyway. You know, I'm a nerd, I'm a scientist at heart, like, so I'm always reading something, I'm always informing myself, you know, from a correct source, and that's the main thing. So yeah, it came from, you know, just following spirit. I knew that I wanted to get into herbs, and like I said, that started like over a year ago, probably January 2018. That's when really 17, but I actually went and bought my first batch of herbs in January 2018 and started just experimenting and reading and talking to people and stuff like that. So, and that's when I got into yachty steams, you know, using flowers, you know, to smoke with, all of that, just everything, just really falling in love with plant handling, like herb handling, you know, it really is a sacred medicine. That's how I hold it. So all of my herbs that I get are like sustainably harvested. You know, I have an herb plug. I don't get my herbs from, I probably get them from 2 places, but that's it. You know, my stuff is either organic or, like I said, sustainably harvested. I'm not getting anything off of Amazon, No, like I'm going. I have a herb plug, like a legit fresh herb plug that's been in business for a family-owned business that's been in
No, no,
business
no,
for
no,
almost
no.
100
No,
years.
no,
So
no, no.
yeah, if you ever wondered that, where I'm sourcing my herbs from and everything, and
Mom,
my
I'm just about to make it for you.
thank you. Make it big
All right.
and tasty.
Taste it.
Tasty.
That's right. I can taste
So yeah, my first
I made it bigger,
thing of healing,
Mommy.
which
I made it bigger.
thank you. Oh wow. Go sit down and color though over there for right now, and draw me another one.
All right. I'm gonna draw you my.
So um I just followed spirit. I know I wanted to heal myself because at that time I also was working like full time in my career in the lab, third shift at that with a 1 to 2 year old. She was like one and some change when I first started working there. Well, she was younger than that, but the time where I was just like, all right, I can't do this, and my body really started taking a beating of working third shift. It was probably like 17, late 17, like December, November 17. And I went and bought my herbs January 18 after researching, because like I said, I had really researched, and then somebody, my homeboy, shout out to Norman that I went to school with, he actually helped open the herbal pharmacy in Norfolk, Virginia, if I've ever been there. I think they have another location like Portsmouth or something, if I'm not mistaken. But he really got me onto my herb plug too. So those herbs that they use or get from their shop, that's where I get my stuff from, for the most part. And yeah, just talking to people, like he really put me on a lot of knowledge, and we talk about herbs and shit. So shout out to Norman. But my first thing that I wanted to tackle was my digestion. My shit was done. Like it was really bad. Like I said, my circadian rhythm was messed up because my sleep pattern is messed up. Certain hormones release at certain times of the day, and if you're up when you're supposed to be sleeping, everything is going to be thrown off.
I'll read you another one.
Wow. So do me another one.
All right.
You gotta go sit down. You gotta go sit down though. So yeah, I just started researching digestive herbs, carminative herbs. If you hear the word carminative, that means something that's going to help with gas, bloating, constipation, stuff like that. Best taken after meals. So that's where the Kemetic Hippie tea came from. That was my first tea that I blended. That was the first thing that I was like, oh, this is legit popping. Like, and my homegirls, they tasted it and they said the same thing. It was like, yo, you need to sell this and do it. So that's where the inspiration came from for the Afrocentric Hippie shop. I already had my Instagram was Afrocentric Hippie for a minute. It just stuck. I liked it because that really embodies me. Like, I'm Afrocentric, everything Afrocentric, Pan-African, like all of that, pro-black, all of that. I'm all of that, and black spirituality, learning about the different, African spirituality, like Yoruba, like just voodoo, all of that. I bangs with all of it. I take a little bit from everybody. So I'm not a Christian. I'm not gonna say I'm not really a Christian. I'm not a Christian. I denounced that like I don't know how many years ago it's been, but I'll make a separate video about how all of that happened and everything. I definitely believe the Bible has some, good scriptures and everything that help get people through. It serves their purpose. It's just not for me, it's not. So yeah, that's that. I'll make a whole separate video talking about that, if y'all want, but not in this one. But yeah, so I perfected my tea blend, the Kemetic Hippie tea, in the shop now. And that also helped me detox, and I realized I just had to get my gut health back in order, and that's when I started reading into, I've been reading about Ayurvedic medicine for some years, probably since like 2015, 2014. I started really like diving into those studies, and they have a lot of good medicinal, just everything topics, you know, just ways, things to implement for self-care and, you know, living holistically. So I learned about my dosha, and I learned that I'm a Kappa Pitta dosha, so I need some fire in my digestion. So I really, and a lot of leafy, like greens, like I need a lot of fiber, you know, and that's what it was. So once I would like make a self-care thing, like I'd be like, all right, I'm gonna have at least one big ass salad a day, because like I said, I was super irregular, and I had been working crazy hours. Like I worked from 11 to 7. So, and we had to, like, me and my partner, we had a lot of sacrifices and stuff, like, so he was in welding school at the time, and I would have to be with our daughter if she wasn't getting babysat with our family, um, be up with her during the day, you know, tending to her, making sure she good, get off and straight into mommy mode, like breakfast, you know, all of that. And then try to fit a nap in. When she's getting, I'm gonna pop you, put it down. Don't touch none of these pots. You know better. Here, draw. Or go get on your little bike thing. You wilding out right now. Why you wilding for? I'm sorry. I don't even know what I was talking about, y'all. So yeah, we took a, yeah, go get daddy. Go ask daddy to bring it out. So we just had to reset. I had to reset on a lot of things, and that's when I also started Yanni Steam, and that also helped with my digestion and getting everything back right, you know, from those medicinal herbs and the blends that I started putting together, which I have on my site right now. All of those came from me really just experimenting on myself and seeing what worked for me. And everybody's different, you know, so that's why I do have options, and you can also make a custom blend if you want to. If you know what you want to use already, I'll throw that together for you. And I also started making blends for my homegirls and like people that still like religiously like cop Yanni steams for me, with like certain custom blends, you know, to help soothe what they got going on particularly. So I was just like, yeah, that's where the business idea came from. I always been a hustler, so like since forever, you know, just like from my upbringings, like I said, in the inner city. I was trapping CDs in middle school. Like, I go cop me a pack of blank CDs. I had the line wire popping. I did get my dad's viruses on his computer and stuff like a couple of times, but it was all good. We just, you know, restarted. You know, give me your song list, give me 20 tracks, and I'll make that jank $5. Boom. So I was doing that in middle school, and then, you know, I hustled in college and, you know, doing little things here and there. But, you know, you just always got to have bread, because it's like when I was marching, I had time to work, you know, and then even after I was done marching, I was heavy into school, like, you know, getting ready for my clinical rotations and everything. So it's like, and then after that point, I had to get my own place. I moved off campus. Like, I moved off campus after my sophomore year. So I was, you know, paying my bills, doing what I needed to do, you know, with minimal help from, you know, my peoples back home, because they were making sure shit was right here for my sisters. So I always just been the go get it type. I always, you know, shit just come, it just come to me. I just follow spirit. And I always be good. I'll be good. Just follow spirit. So, yeah, so once I started tea blending and really, you know, diving into the research of herbs and how oils work, chakras, and I've been working with chakras probably since like 2014. So once I started really tying everything in together, like there's herbs for your chakra, and essential oils for your chakra, gemstones for your chakras, like chakra work is real. Like, you really get into it, it's real. Like, so I think that's where everything came from. That's where the Afrocentric hippie shop comes from. Like I said, the Afrocentric, I mean, in everything black, everything Alkebalon, everything comedic, everything.
Mommy, I pedal.
Yay! Don't pedal on the grass though. Bring it back and go that way. On the pavement. Yeah, you got it. So yeah, Afrocentric, everything, you know, black hippie, everything. Yeah, African, everything, and that's in me, that embodies me, Afrocentric. Hippie, because I'm a flower child, and I like hippie shit. I do hippie shit. I don't shave my underarm. It's like, and that's not just because I want to be like a feminist or not. I don't claim that either. I don't claim feminism, but that's just, I have sensitive ass skin. That's also where this all comes from too. Like me just healing myself. You know, I have sensitive. I'll break out off anything. Like it's bad, and it's always been like that. So it's also come from a place of just healing. All of this comes from healing. That's why I put so much love and intent in all of everything that I do in my shop. Everything took me forever to open up my shop, because I was just making sure that it was everything that I wanted, and everything was just snatched. Like I didn't want to leave no open-ended areas or anything. So, and there's still more hella information I want to add, and I'm building on that too. Just getting it done, I guess, just typing everything out and everything, because I could sit here and talk all day, but I have to get the I have to, you know, type up more information, you know, to post content. But yeah, I went off on a tangent. I don't know what I was talking about. So lastly, it says, what did I have to overcome to be where I am now? And yeah, I would just say I had to overcome hella obstacles, man. Hella obstacles. Starting from the day that I left home the day after I graduated high school. That's how serious that shit was to me. I was on a mission. Like, I graduated. My grandmother came up with my aunt. They picked me up because I already had signed up for like high school band camp to prepare me for actual band camp. So I was like, I'm out of here. Next day we hit the road, like after graduation. So even from then, it was just, you know, a whole bunch of stuff. But I always had the guidance. Always was good. At the end of the day, no matter what I went through, I was always good. You know, ancestors always there. You know. God rest my grandmother, and my daughter's middle name. She's named after her grandmother. I'm named after my great grandmother, and she's named after her great grandmother. And that's my grandmother Ann from the Hampton Roads area. That's my mom's mom. You know, she was a thug. She was my OG. So shouts out to her, always being here with us. You know, and everybody else, all my other ancestors. But I also had to have, like I said, faith just in the Most High, and my ancestors, spirit guides, Orishas, all the angels, you know, everybody around us, just having faith that everything is going to be good. You know, shit might be hard at times, but it's just going to, it's all right. You know, just trusting and having faith. And finishing. You have to finish. You know, all that shit don't matter. All the shit you had to do does not matter if you don't finish. All that shit is in vain. Nobody's hearing none of that, you know. And that's why I had to take, like I said before, I had to take 3 buses to get to my first clinical rotation. I had to find a ride home from Virginia Beach at 10 o'clock at night. This is before Uber was popping and shit. Like, I couldn't just grab Uber, even though that would have been like $25 one way. You know, and like I said, I was hustling. Like, I left there, I went to bartend. I would bartend or serve, you know, on the Spirit Norfolk, you know, till sometimes 4 in the morning, so I could pay my rent, so I could, you know, get the money to get a person, which is my homegirl Renata, shout out to her, picking me up from my rotation, you know, out Virginia Beach, and I lived in Norfolk, you know, at like 9-10 o'clock at night. I had to get the money for that. I had to get the money for all the shit that they wanted, the prerequisites just to get into a clinical rotation. you know. And then on top of all of that, I would pay for all of that, and I would still have to wait for a rotation, the actual spot, because our program, the Norfolk State University program, was being discriminated upon. You know, like, I had to wait 2 fucking years for clinical rotations. I would have graduated on time. I did fail a couple courses, whatever, you know, but I had to pay for that shit, and I you know, that was the repercussions. But I still would have graduated on time if I didn't have to wait it was a little over 2 years for clinical rotations. I had a baby and everything. By the time my last clinical rotation came, my 3rd clinical rotation that I had to do 4, 5 if you want to include phlebotomy, but I don't count that. But shit, I did that too, and I got an A+ in that. But anyway, I'm a generalist, you know, in the areas of clinical chemistry, clinical microbiology, and there's a whole bunch of subcategories of that shit. Blood bank, and clinical hematology and coagulation. Like, I'm a generalist, so it was broad. I had to do all of that, and then I had to get board certified. So I got hired. I got hired when my daughter, she was a couple months. She was born August 23rd, 2016. I got my clinical rotation for my last rotation, which was in clinical microbiology, which was at the hospital that I ended up getting hired at. Okay. In November 2016. That's when I started my final rotation, and I had started my first rotation 2 years prior, over 2 years prior. So perseverance, you know, having faith, you know, and finishing. You know, at that point, I think she was like, I had a 3-4 month year old. You know, I had a newborn. You know, I didn't have a car. You know, me and my partner didn't have a car. And we were just thugging it, you know. We was doing it, you know, with the help of his family, you know. Shouts out to the Majors. Like, we wouldn't been able to do that. My family up here doing everything they could help us down there, you know. It was a lot, but we did it. I ended up graduating with my bachelor's that December. I didn't walk. It was still some bullshit, but because they had messed up my shit, but I got my degree. I was able to get hired before I even finished my last clinical rotation in microbiology, which I got an A+ in. Okay, and my daughter was 3-4 months old, and she was studying with me. We were talking about bacillus. We were talking about, you know, all the bacteriology, virology, fucking everything, mycology. We're talking about everything, tuberculosis, you know. And she's not talking. But she's studying with me. That's my study. That was my study buddy while her father was at work. When I got home from my rotation, I was with her studying. Graduated, got my degree, you know, after all that time, got hired. I didn't even have to worry about a job. I got hired, and then I got board certified. I failed my first time taking my boards. That shit fucked with me. I don't like failing. Like, I'm a Sag. I'm on the cusp of Scorpio and Sag. My birthday is November 22nd, 11/22. Those are my numbers right there. They're powerful numbers. So, you know, I'm a powerful person, and that fucked with me, but that shifted me. That's when I also got into herbs and healing myself, and it's powerful. Like, I get goosebumps talking about it, but that's where that comes from. That's all that I had, and that's not all that I had to overcome, but that's just a little snippet, you know. But having faith, persevering, finishing, and then even through all of that, once I did get hired and I was in that bit doing my thing, you know, being efficient, being you know, a bomb ass team player, soaking up hella knowledge, because that's what I was there for. You know, I'm trying to get all this knowledge. Teach me everything. What's that machine do? What's that machine? How do I fix that? How do I troubleshoot that? You know, that's what I was there to do. People would still fuck with me. I had, like, discrimination from, like, it was hella Filipinos. I fuck with them, but they can be real racist, point blank, period. So I had issues with people. My first career job, I had to learn how to talk and communicate professionally, and that shit really fucked with me at first, you know. But that's when I started getting into fixing my own candles, making my own. I had to ward shit off. Like, I really had. If you go on a post where I put up a post, like in the beginning when I first started my Instagram, it talks about a whole bunch of protection herbs. I had to protect the fuck out of myself because they were really trying to threaten my livelihood, you know. So that's when I just follow spirit. I was just trying to figure out how to heal, how to protect. All of that comes through following spirit, and it's always a natural, metaphysical way to do that. So yeah, I got my homegirl, Darielle, to make me a little piece to help with, you know, just warding off negativity, cleansing, you know, my area more so that I didn't bring that shit home and let it linger. But I nipped that shit in the bud. And literally, I fixed my own candles. And once I started doing that and really getting into the magic of herbs, I had no issues. And I'm not even bullshitting. Like, I had no issues. I always believe in using your own juju, using your own magic, using your own intent to heal yourself. That's why I would never go and purchase a candle from somebody claiming they can protect me, and they might be able to, but I'm a skeptic when it comes to that because I believe in my own magic and what I can do. But yeah, that's a whole nother video too. I don't talk about stuff like that a lot, because it depends on who I'm talking to, and that's a whole nother video though. But yeah, overcoming all of that, that's where I am today. I'm still in the lab. I'm about to start a new position, doing my science shit, be in the lab bit. That's my passion as well. Like, I'm technical. I could be technical, but I also love to create, and that's where, you know, I've been feeling so constipated, like probably the past 6 months. I would say longer than that, probably the past like year, because I've been wanting to just really create some things like jewelry or soul or stop on it. You got a pedal, boo. You do got a pedal. So yeah, I just wrapped y'all up. Catch some of the sun. Mouth dry as hell. I need some water. But yeah, check my shop out, the Afrocentric Hippie shop. It's filled with love. You know, I make everything to order. Everything's fresh, sustainably harvested herbs. Yeah, just let me know if y'all have any questions. If y'all want to know anything else, if I should make more videos. I'm sorry for my daughter interrupting me. Where's she at? There she go. She pulled all her beads out. I just braided her hair like 2 days ago. She woke up in the middle of the night and pulled all her beads out. So now she looking crazy. I'm like, I've been busting moves. Like, I got an orientation I gotta go to soon for work, and I'm not playing with her. Like, she gonna look crazy. Hold on, I'm about to show her. Come here, boo. Show them your hair, how you pulled out your beads. It was like 2 ponytails, y'all. Like, and then she just pulled them bitches out. Like, how you just pull them out like that? Why you do that?
Me?
Yeah, you. But peace and love, y'all. Just hit me up if y'all have any questions. Sorry for all the ums in the video. I'm not going to edit them out. I don't know how to do that. That's very time consuming. I'll work on it though. Peace.